press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi everyone, myself Soumya. I am working as a biology lecturer in Siddhaganga PU College. I welcome you all for biology online classes. Today I would like to start another chapter in human physiology, that is breathing and exchange of gases. Breathing and exchange of gases. So in this chapter you are going to learn what is respiration, the respiratory organs in different groups of animals. That means respiratory organs, the organs which are meant for respiration are called as respiratory organs, and you are going to learn the respiratory organs in different groups of animals and what is breathing, mechanism of breathing, and exchange of gases, how the gases are exchanged between the respiratory surface and the blood and between the blood and the body cells, and transport of gases, how the oxygen and the carbon dioxide are transported by the blood, that you are going to learn, and regulation of respiration, how the respiration process is controlled, and the disorders of respiratory system, the diseases which are related to respiratory system you are going to learn. So all these are the things you are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, so let us begin a chapter with a brief introduction. See, all animals will require energy to carry out their body activities, to perform various body activities. The animals require energy. You know that energy is a capacity to do work. Okay, how the animals will get energy to perform various body activities? So in animals, the energy is produced in the body cells. In the body cells, the energy is produced in the form of ATP. So what is ATP? ATP, the long form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So in animals, the energy is produced in the form of adenosine triphosphate in the body cells by a process called cellular respiration. By a process called cellular respiration. What is respiration then? Okay, see, the food we take that contains, what food that we take daily, that contains carbohydrates, proteins, fats. Okay, so all these are macromolecules. So macromolecules means larger molecules, and as such they are not utilized by the body. So they have to be broken down into a simple molecules so that they are easily absorbed into the blood. So this process of conversion of a complex food substances into simple and easily absorbable form is called as digestion. So I already studied in the last chapter, and the digestion process in human beings, the digestion occurs in the alimentary canal with the help of various digestive enzymes, right? So once the food digested in the alimentary canal, what are the end products of digestion? The end products of digestion are, that is glucose, amino acids, fatty acids are absorbed into the blood. Okay, so the blood, once they are absorbed to the blood, the blood will carry these food nutrients to all the cells of the body, and in the cells these food nutrients get oxidized. So this what organic nutrients, no, that is glucose is oxidized to release energy. Okay, so that requires, that oxidation requires oxygen. So in presence of oxygen in the body cells, the organic nutrients, that is glucose, is broken down to form carbon dioxide, water and energy is released in the form of ATP, and that energy is used by the animals to carry out various body activities. So we can define respiration as, so we can define respiration, process of oxidation of organic nutrients to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. So where oxidation of organic nutrients occur? The oxidation of organic nutrients occur in all the cells of the body. So finally, what are the end products? Carbon dioxide, water and energy, and it is released in the form of ATP, right? So or else we can also define respiration as, so it is the breakdown of organic nutrients like glucose in presence of oxygen. In presence of oxygen to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, so this is what respiration. Okay, so the respiration will occur in all the cells of the body. So it is due to respiration, so what energy is released, no? So that energy is used by the animals to carry out body activities. So for oxidation of organic nutrients, it requires oxygen. Okay, so the breakdown of organic nutrients requires oxygen. So hence our body cells know they continuously use oxygen. Okay, so for the oxidation of organic nutrients, what is required? Oxygen is required, right? Okay, so that oxygen, we take oxygen from the atmosphere. So our body cells will continuously use oxygen to break down the organic nutrients. Okay, so it is due to the breakdown of organic nutrients, the carbon dioxide is continuously produced by the body cells. Okay, so it is because of the breakdown of organic nutrients. So what are the end products I said? Carbon dioxide and water and energy, no? Carbon dioxide, water and energy, no? So it is because of oxidation of nutrients, the carbon dioxide is continuously produced by the body cells. And this carbon dioxide produced in the body cells, no, it is toxic to cells. If it accumulates, it will be toxic to cells because excessive amount of carbon dioxide produces the acidity. So that would be toxic to cells. So that carbon dioxide must be eliminated quickly and efficiently. So that process of exchange of oxygen from the atmosphere with the carbon dioxide produced by the body cells is called as what? Breathing. Okay, for oxidation of organic nutrients require oxygen, so that body cells will use oxygen, and what they produce? They produce carbon dioxide, no? So that carbon dioxide, it is toxic to body cells. So once it is, as the carbon dioxide is produced, it must be eliminated. Excess of carbon dioxide must be eliminated. Okay, so this process of exchange of oxygen from the atmosphere with the carbon dioxide produced by the cells is called as breathing. Okay, so let us define our breathing. Breathing. So breathing is The process of breathing is the process of exchange of oxygen from the atmosphere with the carbon dioxide produced by the body cells. So this is what breathing. Okay, or else simply we can define breathing as intake of fresh air, and removal of foul air. So foul air is nothing but the air which is rich in carbon dioxide. So we can also define breathing as intake of fresh air and removal of foul air. Okay, so this is what breathing. So you will come to know what is respiration and what is breathing. So let us see the difference between breathing and the respiration. So can you define breathing now? So what is breathing? It is simply it is a intake of fresh air, whereas intake of fresh air and removal of foul air. Breathing is intake of fresh air and removal of foul air. And what is respiration? Respiration is oxidation of organic nutrients. Oxidation of organic nutrients to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay. So I repeat once again. Breathing is defined as the intake of fresh air and removal of foul air, whereas respiration is oxidation of organic nutrients to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. See, breathing is just, it involves only inhalation and exhalation. So it is a physical process. Breathing is a physical process, whereas respiration. So respiration is a biochemical process. So biochemical process where the food nutrients get oxidized in presence of, that is the food nutrients get broken down in presence of oxygen. So whereas respiration is a biochemical process in which the organic nutrients broken down in presence of oxygen to release energy in the usable form, so that requires several enzymes. So the breakdown of organic nutrients requires several enzymes. And see here, in breathing, it is just intake of fresh air and it is intake of oxygen and removal of carbon dioxide, no? So here energy is not produced here. Here energy is not produced, but energy is not produced here, but in respiration process energy is produced. Energy is produced and that is in the form of ATP. Energy is produced in the form of ATP. Okay? And see where breathing occurs. So the breathing in humans, the breathing it is confined to only certain organs. So only certain organs are involved in the process of breathing, but respiration, no. Respiration occurs in all the cells of the body. Okay. So breathing is confined to, it is restricted to, breathing occurs only in few organs. Few organs. Whereas respiration it occurs in all the cells of the body. All the cells of the body. And so here this breathing process occurs outside the cells, no? That is in the organs, it occurring in the organs, it is really restricted to a few organs. So it is occurring, breathing occurs outside the cells, right? Okay, so that we can call it is the extracellular process. Extracellular process means what? The process occurring outside the cell. So breathing is extracellular process, because this process occurs outside the cells in the organs. Okay, so it is extracellular process. Okay, whereas respiration, where respiration occurs? Respiration occurs inside the cells, right? So we can call it as intracellular, right? So respiration, where respiration taking place? Respiration is taking place inside the cells. So it is intracellular process. Respiration is intracellular process. Respiration is intracellular process because respiration occurs inside the cells. Okay. So this is what the difference is between breathing and respiration. Okay. So respiration process requires oxygen. Okay. So we take oxygen from the atmosphere. Okay. So breathing is a step, it is a step. We take oxygen. So respiration process, so that is oxidation of organic nutrients requires oxygen. No, we take oxygen from the atmosphere by a process of inhalation, right? Okay, during breathing. Okay, so this is what breathing and respiration. So you will come to know the definition of respiration and as well as breathing, right? Understood clearly then? Let us say the types of respiration. So based on whether oxygen is involved in the process of respiration or not, respiration is of two types. Okay. Aerobic respiration, and anaerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Okay. See, aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration, it occurs in presence of oxygen. Okay, aerobic respiration occurs in presence of oxygen. It occurs in presence of oxygen. See, when the food is oxidized with the use of molecular oxygen, then it is called as what? Aerobic respiration. Okay. Then what is anaerobic respiration then? Anaerobic respiration is, it occurs in the absence of oxygen. See, when the food is oxidized without the use of a molecular oxygen, then that type of respiration is called as anaerobic respiration. Okay, so I'll repeat once again. So aerobic respiration. So in aerobic respiration, when the food is oxidized in presence of oxygen, then it is called as what? Aerobic respiration. The breakdown of organic nutrients requires what? Oxygen. Okay, so this type of respiration is called aerobic respiration. And what is anaerobic respiration? See, anaerobic respiration, if the food is oxidized without the use of molecular oxygen, so then that type of respiration is called as what? Anaerobic respiration. Okay. See what happens in aerobic respiration, no? So in aerobic respiration, the organic nutrients, no, so they are completely breakdown. Okay. So in aerobic respiration, the complete breakdown of, there is a complete breakdown of organic molecules. So due to the complete breakdown of the organic nutrients, more energy is released in process of aerobic respiration. Okay, so it is more energy due to complete breakdown of organic nutrients. But whereas in anaerobic respiration, there is an incomplete breakdown of organic molecules. So it is due to incomplete breakdown of organic molecules. This type of respiration produces less energy. As the organic nutrients are not completely breaks down, it yields less energy. Okay. See, the aerobic respiration is shown by most of the organisms. So most of the organisms will show aerobic respiration, whereas anaerobic respiration. So anaerobic respiration is shown by, I'll give the example, like bacteria, yeast, and some endoparasites. So endoparasites means what? The parasites which live inside the body are called as endoparasites. So can I give example for endoparasites? Like Ascaris lumbricoides that lives in the small intestine of man, tapeworm, Taenia solium, liver fluke. So all these are endoparasites. Okay. So these endoparasites also respire anaerobically. Okay. So some endoparasites endoparasites. Shows anaerobic respiration. Can you name the cells in the human body that carry out anaerobic respiration? Have you any idea? In humans, anaerobic respiration takes place in muscles. You remember this point. So in human beings, anaerobic respiration occurs, it takes place in the muscles. But it is conditioned here. It occurs only during the strenuous exercise, only during heavy physical activity. It is because of low availability of the oxygen. Some muscle cells will switch on to anaerobic respiration. Okay, and also the RBC cells. Okay, that is, they are also called as what? Erythrocytes. RBCs are a kind of blood cells. Okay, so RBCs. Red blood cells. Okay, so they are also called as what? Erythrocytes. They are also called as what? Erythrocytes. So erythrocytes also carry out anaerobic respiration. This is because they lack mitochondria. So where the Krebs cycle will occur. So it is due to the lack of mitochondria. So aerobic respiration is not possible here. So erythrocytes will carry out anaerobic respiration. So in humans, the cells which carry out anaerobic respiration are muscles. So it is only during in muscles. Anaerobic respiration occurs only during the strenuous exercise and in RBCs. So the reason in RBC, the reason here is it is due to the lack of mitochondria. So this question may be asked for your need. Okay. Name the cells in the human body that carry out anaerobic respiration, that is muscle cells and erythrocytes. Okay, understood? So these are the two different types of respiration based on oxygen, molecular oxygen is using or not. Okay, so depending upon that, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Okay, so aerobic respiration occurs in presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. Okay, so this aerobic respiration is shown by most of the organisms, whereas anaerobic respiration is shown in bacteria, yeast. Okay, so in microorganisms, the anaerobic respiration is also called as what? Fermentation. So you might have heard alcoholic fermentation, lactic acid fermentation. So alcohol fermentation occurs in yeast where the end product formed is ethyl alcohol. So accordingly it is called as alcoholic fermentation. And in bacteria, some bacteria, that is they carry out lactic acid fermentation, that is called lactic acid fermentation occurs in some bacteria. Okay, so where the end product is lactic acid. Okay, and so here in muscles and RBC I said no. So during anaerobic respiration in muscles and RBCs, they release lactic acid. What they release? What is the end product here? Lactic acid. Okay, so this lactic acid is toxic. Okay, so that it is that lactic acid produced, that will enter into the blood and the blood will carry the lactic acid into the liver. In the liver, that lactic acid gets converted into a glycogen for reuse. Okay, so this is what the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration, and the examples for the organisms and the cells which undergo, which carry out anaerobic respiration. Understood clearly? Okay. Next, again, so again in aerobic respiration, there are two types. Okay, direct respiration, and indirect respiration. So, in aerobic respiration, the two types, direct respiration and indirect respiration. See, direct respiration. See here, in direct respiration, the body cells exchange gases with the environment. Body cells exchange gases with the environment without the use of respiratory organs and blood. Okay? See here, in direct respiration, the body cells exchange gases with the environment without the use of respiratory organs and the blood. Okay, see here, this type of respiration, that is direct respiration, we seen in case of lower organisms. In case of lower organisms like sponges, okay, coelacanths, flatworms. So in these animals, in lower animals, there are no specialized respiratory organs for the exchange of gases. Okay, so the exchange of gases occurs between the body cells and the environment directly. Okay, so as there are no specialized respiratory structures, the exchange of gases occurs directly between the body cells and the environment. Okay, so that type of respiration is called as what? Direct respiration. So this type of respiration we seen in case of lower animals like sponges. Okay, the sponges are included under the phylum Porifera. Okay, and the coelacanths. So coelacanths also called as cnidarians, that is Hydra, Obelia, Physalia. So there are the example for coelacanths, and flatworms, Planaria. So in these animals there are no specialized respiratory structures. So the exchange of gases takes place directly between the body cells and the environment. So the type of respiration is called as what? Direct respiration. Understood? Okay. Then what is indirect respiration then? So in indirect respiration, the exchange of gases takes place. In indirect respiration, exchange of gases takes place through a specialized respiratory organs. Okay, the exchange of gases takes place through specialized respiratory organ. Okay, and here blood is involved here. So blood is involved in the transport of gases. Blood is involved in the transport of gases. Okay, so here, see here, blood is, as the gases get directly exchanged between the body cells and the environment, here there is no need of blood, okay, to transport the gases. Okay, but here the exchange of gases takes place. So exchange of gases will occur through respiratory organ. Okay, see for example human beings. So the human beings we have lungs for respiration. In the lungs are minute sac-like structures are present. They are called as alveoli. The atmospheric air will enter into the alveoli, and it is through the wall of the alveoli the gases get exchanged between the blood and the alveoli. Okay, so then the blood will transport that gases to the blood will transport gases to the body cells. Okay, so here blood is involved and here blood is not involved. So here the respiration is indirect as the respiratory surface is involved here. Here as the respiratory surface is not involved in the exchange of gases, as it occurs directly between the exchange of gases occurs directly between the body cells and the environment, it is called direct respiration. So indirect respiration we see in case of higher animals. Okay, indirect respiration we see in case of higher animals. In human beings there is indirect respiration. See, in human beings the type of respiration is aerobic or anaerobic. The type of respiration in human beings is aerobic respiration, and it is direct or indirect? So it is indirect. So in human beings the respiration is aerobic and indirect. Okay, so this is what the types of respiration. Okay, now let us see the respiratory organs in different groups of animals. Respiratory organs in different groups of animals. Respiratory organs in different groups of animals. See, the nature of the respiratory organs, the mechanism of breathing, okay, it depends upon the mainly two factors. One is habitat and another one is level of organization. Level of organization in animals. Okay, the mechanism of breathing, the nature of the respiratory organs depends upon mainly the two important factors, that is habitat and level of organization of animals. Okay, so habitat means what? Habitat means it is a place. It is a place where an animal is living. Okay, habitat means what? It is a place where an animal is living. Okay, so that is called as what? Habitat. See, some animals are aquatic. Some animals are aquatic. Okay, some animals are terrestrial. Okay, aquatic means what? The animals which live in water are called aquatic animals. What is terrestrial? The animals which live on land are called as terrestrial. Okay, the nature of the respiratory organs depends upon the habitat of the animal, whether it is living in water or whether it is living on land. Okay, see, for example, if you take a fish, fish is aquatic, right? Fish, it lives in water. Okay, so it lives in water, no? So having gills for respiration. So the respiratory organs in case of fishes are the gills. Okay, and terrestrial, the animals which live on land. For example, if you take reptiles. So reptiles include lizards, snakes, chameleon, okay. So they are land animals. They have got lungs for respiration. So the nature of the respiratory organ depends upon the habitat of the animal, and habitat means the place where an animal is living, okay. And it also depends upon the level of organization in animals. Say in animals starting from lower organisms to higher animals, okay. So starting from lower animals to higher animals, the animals will show different level of organization, that is cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, organ level of organization, and organ system level of organization, okay. See, in case of sponges, poriferans, they show cellular level of organization because tissues and organs are absent in them, okay. So whatever the body functions are there, they are carried out by the cells independently, okay. So the body functions are carried out at a cellular level. So in sponges, the level of organization is cellular level of organization. So this we can see in case of poriferans. Okay, and in the next higher phyla, we can see a tissue level of organization. So tissue level of organization means what? The tissue is nothing but a group of cells which perform a same function. So the cells which are performing a same function are group forming a tissues, and tissues will carry out the body functions. Okay, so here the body functions are carried out at a tissue level. So in coelentrates, so the next phylum after porifera is the coelenterata and Ctenophora. So in these phyla, there is a tissue level of organization where organs and organ systems are completely absent here. So body functions are carried out at a tissue level. And when it comes to the next phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. So your body functions are carried out at a organ level because they lack organ system. Okay, and from phylum Platyhelminthes onwards, all the higher phylum now, so where the organ systems are well developed, and the organ system, the different organ systems will carry out different functions like digestive system that carry out a process of digestion, respiratory system, circulatory system, and so on. Okay, so mainly the nature of respiratory organs and the mechanism of breathing, it depends upon, one is the habitat and the level of organization in animals. So, okay, so you don't bother about the level of organization and different phylums, because the different what are the different phylums, characteristic features of different phyla and the animals of respective phyla. So all these terminologies like level of organization in animals. So all these things you will learn in another chapter, that is animal kingdom. Okay, so but what you have to concentrate here is the nature of respiratory organ and the mechanism of breathing. It is mainly based on what? Habitat of the animal and the level of organization. Okay, so that is animal is cellular level, tissue level, organ system level. So here you concentrate just on these two factors, that is habitat and the level of organization. So all these things you will learn in the animal kingdom chapter. Okay, so let us see the different respiratory organs, the respiratory organs in different animal groups. Starting from protozoa up to higher animals. Say now protozoa. So this includes unicellular organisms. It includes unicellular organisms. Single-celled organisms are called as unicellular organisms. Okay, so like amoeba, paramecium, euglena. Okay, so they all comes under this protozoa. Okay, so here the exchange of gases, there are no specialized respiratory structures in protozoa. Okay, so the exchange of gases will occur through a plasma membrane. See, for example, so here the exchange of gases occurs through plasma membrane. See, for example, this is an amoeba. It is a protozoa. This is having plasma membrane. Okay. See, the exchange of respiratory gases, that is oxygen and the carbon dioxide, exchange through this plasma membrane by a process of simple diffusion. Diffusion means what? Diffusion means a movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So that is called as what? Diffusion. Okay. So in protozoa, the exchange of gases occurs through the plasma membrane by a process called simple diffusion. See, amoeba, it is an aquatic organism, no? It is aquatic organism, right? Okay. It lives in water. Okay. So here the oxygen, the concentration of oxygen, it is more in the surrounding water, less inside the body, so that the oxygen will diffuses into the body. And the concentration of carbon dioxide is more inside in the body and less outside. So the carbon dioxide will diffuses out of the body. This is how the gases get exchanged between the surrounding water and the body cell. Okay. So by a process of simple diffusion. So here the oxygen concentration is more, so that the oxygen will move from a region of its higher concentration to a region of lower concentration, and here carbon dioxide concentration is more inside and less outside. So the carbon dioxide will move from a region of its higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So this is called as what? A diffusion. Okay. So in protozoans there is no specialized respiratory structure. Okay. So it occurs through exchange of gases occurs through plasma membrane by simple diffusion, right? Then next is, so the next phylums include poriferans, in poriferans and coelenterate and platyhelminthes. Okay, the poriferans, it includes sponges. Pore-bearing animals. Coelentrates, it include, I already told the examples of coelentrates, hydra, jellyfish. Okay. So these are some examples for coelentrates: jellyfish, obelia, okay, and then platyhelminthes. So platyhelminthes, it include flatworms. Okay, that is planaria. Okay. So in these animals also there are no specialized respiratory structures. Okay. So the exchange of gases occurs through a general It occurs through general body surface. Again by a process of simple diffusion. So in porifera, coelenterata, platyhelminthes, the exchange of gases occurs through general body surface by a process of diffusion. Then, and in the next so in annelids, so annelids include earthworm. Okay, so these earthworms have got moist cuticle for the exchange of gases. So cuticle means what? Cuticle is nothing but a body covering. It is the outermost covering of the body. It is very thin, okay, and it is moist and it is highly vascularized. Highly vascularized means it is richly supplied with blood. Okay, so this cuticle helps in the moist cuticle helps in the exchange of gases. Okay, so the respiratory structure in earthworm is moist cuticle. And the type of respiration. So here the respiration occurs through cuticle. No, it is called as cutaneous respiration. If respiration occurs through the skin, it is called as cutaneous respiration. Okay, and when it comes to arthropods, so you know about arthropods, right? Arthropoda, it is one of the largest phylum among the animal kingdom. It includes animals like insects, scorpion, tick, mite, prawns, crabs. Okay, so all these animals will come under the arthropoda and they live in wide variety of habitat. Okay, so the aquatic arthropods. The aquatic arthropods have got gills for respiration. Okay, so they have got the respiratory structures in aquatic arthropods are the gills. Okay, and the respiration with the help of gills is called as bronchial respiration. Bronchial respiration. Then in insects. So in insects the respiratory structures are the tracheal tubes. The respiratory structures are the tracheal tubes. So tracheal tubes are nothing but a network of tubes which are present in the body. Tracheal tubes are nothing but the network of tubes which are present in the body and they have an opening to outside. So that is called as a spiracle. Okay. So it is through that opening, it is through the spiracle, the atmospheric oxygen, that atmospheric air will enter into the body. Okay. So here the respiratory organs are the tracheal tubes and the type of respiration is called as tracheal respiration. Tracheal respiration. And when it comes to limulus, it is also called as a king crab. Okay, so the respiratory structures are called book gills. So they are called as book gills because they look like the pages of the book. So they are called as book gills. And when it comes to the terrestrial arthropods like a scorpion, they are called as, the respiratory structures are called book lungs. They are called as what? Book lungs. Okay. So these are the respiratory structures of arthropods. Okay. So aquatic arthropods have got gills for respiration and the respiration with the help of gills is called bronchial respiration. And insects, in the respiratory structure in insects are the tracheal tubes and the type of respiration is called tracheal respiration. And the limulus book gills. The respiratory structures in lemurres, king crab, the book gills, and in scorpion, the book lungs. Book lungs are the modified book gills. Okay, so these are the respiratory structures of arthropods. And in mollusca, phylum mollusca, it includes shelled animals like unio, apple snail, and dentalium. So all these animals will come under the phylum mollusca. So the aquatic molluscans have got aquatic mollusks have ctenidia. Ctenidia means what? They are the feathered gills. They are gills only. They look like a feathers. Hence they are called as ctenidia. Okay. So in aquatic mollusks, the respiratory structures are the ctenidia, and in some land molluscans like apple snail, the respiratory organ is called as pulmonary sac. Pulmonary sac. It is nothing but a hollow organ which functions like lung. Okay. So in mollusca, the respiratory organs are the ctenidia and the pulmonary sac. Okay. So all these are the respiratory structures in invertebrates. Invertebrates means what? The animals without having a backbone or vertebral column are called as invertebrates. Okay. So we'll come to know the respiratory structures and the mechanism of that is exchange of gases. Okay. Mechanism of exchange of gases in different groups of animals. Okay. So let us see the respiratory organs in vertebrates. So respiratory organs in vertebrates. So the vertebrates include fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, the aves, and mammals. Okay, so these are the vertebrates. The animals having vertebral column are called as vertebrates. So let us see the respiratory organs in different groups of vertebrates. So fishes are aquatic, as I said, no. So they are having gills for respiration. Okay, so they are having gills for respiration, and the type of respiration, the respiration occurs with the help of gills is called as what? Bronchial respiration. And amphibians. Amphibians have dual mode of life. They can live in water and as well as on land. Okay, so they have dual life. They live in water and as well as on land. See, for example, amphibians, the frog. Okay, the larva of frog is called as a tadpole larva. No, so the larva of frog is aquatic, so having gills for respiration, and the adult frog respires with the help of moist skin. Okay, here the moist skin helps in the exchange of gases, and the respiration also occurs through the lining of buccal cavity. The respiration occurs through the lining of buccal cavity and also lungs. They also have lungs for respiration. So these are the respiratory structures in adult frog: moist skin, lining of buccal cavity, and lungs. Okay. So when it comes to reptiles, birds, and mammals, the respiratory organs are the lungs. Okay. So the respiration with the help of lungs is called as pulmonary respiration. Okay, we human beings belongs to the class Mammalia, no. So the type of the method of respiration here belongs to Mammalia. We the human beings belongs to Mammalia, no. The respiration is pulmonary respiration. Okay. So this is what the respiratory organs in different groups of animals from Protozoa up to the higher animals. Okay. So that nature of the respiratory organ, mechanism of breathing mainly dependent upon the habitat and the level of organization. Understood? Understood clearly? Okay. See, in human beings, the type of respiration is aerobic, indirect, and pulmonary respiration. So in human beings, the type of respiration is aerobic, indirect and pulmonary. Okay. So this is what the basics regarding the breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. So in the next video, I am going to discuss the human respiratory system. So all of you understood the concept clearly. Okay. So today you learn about what is respiration, what is breathing, okay, and what are the different types of respiration, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Okay, if aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. Okay, so the organisms which carry out anaerobic respiration, and in aerobic respiration there are two types, direct respiration and indirect respiration. Okay, and what are the respiratory organs in different groups of animals. Okay, all of you understood clearly? Okay, right. Thank you.